Error macro.
We are Ermac.
We're not impressed.
Hello guys and welcome to another MK Mobile character review, today featuring Ronin Takeda. As usual guys, please note the date when this video has been recorded because a lot of things may have changed since then, and if you're not familiar with the matrix I'm using in order to evaluate characters, you can find it on the top right corner of the screen. So without any further ado, let us put Ronin Takeda to the test. Ronin Takeda guys was originally a gold character and he was released on the 10th of September 2018 for the price of 455 souls. However, after update 2.0 he was promoted to diamond alongside many other gold characters. So let us check whether he's worth that promotion. His attack is 58,968, which ranks 4th highest in MK Mobile. The hit points, they are 96,000 sharp, and this is the 18th highest in the game. The toughness is 49,518, which is the 12th highest in the game, and the recovery is 56,700, again the 4th highest in Mortal Kombat Mobile. The power generation is disappointingly low for a diamond, only 110%. So for his stats, Ronin Takeda is going to get 22.1 out of 28 possible points. Special one of Ronin Takeda guys is called Fist Whirlwind, and in my opinion it is the bread and butter of this character. If you don't trust me, just watch the following footage. Okay guys, so I believe you got an idea of how great this special attack is if Ronin Takeda is supported properly, even if he is outside of a Ronin team, and of course if he is given the correct equipment, but we are going to get to that later. Now let's focus on his special one again. The ability can be completely blocked by the opponent, it has weaken as debuff, which is pretty useful. It can be cast from distance, from mid and short range it is okay since he steps forward once he starts doing his special one. From long range only the last mini attack connects, which is kind of okay because the last mini hit is the one that applies the weaken. However, if you are completely long range, let's say ultra long range away from the enemy, the special attack will miss in its entirety, but this is not really a big deal because these moments are not really that often in the game. In addition, the special attack is lethal, it consists of 7 mini hits and it has the multi-tap circle as mini game. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the ability is 20,378, which is the 6th highest in the game, and the maximum damage is 44,756, which is the 5th highest in MK Mobile. Once again, the special attack can be completely blocked by the opponent, it has weaken as debuff, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of 7 mini hits, and it has the multi-tap circle as mini game. And one more thing, guys, the reason why I am deducting some points from his special one being long ranged is because the special attack will completely miss after one of Takeda's combo ender, and that is not really great for him. So the final score he's going to get for his special one will be 9.1 out of 13 possible points. Special 2 of Takeda, guys, is called Tornado Kick, and quite honestly, every time when I play Takeda, I hardly ever use this ability because in a lot of cases, special 1 will be everything that you require in order to kill your opponent. Anyways, let's get into details. First thing first, this ability again can be completely blocked by the opponent. It has Cripple as debuff, another very useful debuff, and the good thing is that the Cripple will be applied even if the enemy has blocked the special attack. Please remember that. In addition, the special attack can be cast from distance, and even if you try to use it after the combo ender that sends the enemy at ultra long range away from you, the last mini hit will connect and it will apply the Cripple, so I won't be deducting any points from the ability being long range here compared to what I did to his special 1, because if you do special 1 after the combo ender, the long combo ender, then every single one of the mini hits will miss and you won't be able to even apply weaken on the enemy. Anyways, special 2 of Takeda is lethal, it consists of 3 mini hits and it has the Bubbles as minigame, which is one of the worst minigames in MK Mobile. When it comes to damage, the picture is really good. The minimum damage is 55,945, which ranks 5th highest in the game, and the maximum damage is 111,892, which is the 2nd highest in MK Mobile. Just incredible. Once again, the special attack can be completely blocked by the enemy, it has Cripple as debuff, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of 3 mini hits, and it has the Bubbles as mini game. So for his special 2, Tornado Kick, Takeda is going to get 14.5 out of 19 possible points. The X-Ray of Takeda, guys, actually looks quite awesome, to be honest with you, and this is one of my favorite X-Rays in the game. Two things that you need to know about it. First thing first, it can be cast from distance, which is awesome, and the second thing, it has Luck as buff, which is pretty decent. When it comes to damage, the damage of the X-Ray is 134,269, which ranks 7th highest in Mortal Kombat Mobile. Once again, the ability has Luck as buff and it can be cast from distance. So for his X-Ray, Takeda is going to get the solid 3.7 out of 4 possible points, and the total amount of points he gets for his special attacks adds up to 27.4 out of 36 possible. Well done, Takeda. You must really know the character in depth in order to even consider using Takeda without any block breaking equipment. Thing is, he doesn't have the worst basic attacks in the world. I would say he's slightly above average. Slightly above average punching speed, slightly above average initiation speed, recovery speed. He really sucks, by the way, when it comes to chaining. Both of his combo enders, if the enemy has blocked them, they will never send the opponent away, and that's really dangerous, especially the combo ender with the kick. After this combo ender, I would advise you just to follow with special 1 or special 2 if the enemy manages to block it, because in a lot of cases you will suffer the consequences, the enemy will retaliate, and yeah, you don't want this to happen when you're playing Ronin Takeda. One thing that I have to mention is that Ronin Takeda is kind of okay if you have cornered the enemy, especially if you have done the combo ender that usually will send the enemy long range away from you. However, if the case is that you have cornered your opponent, then you can immediately start another combo and it will connect. That's really beautiful, and it works for a lot of characters if your opponent happens to be cornered, so please be aware of that. So once again, his basics are just above average, but considering how squishy he is, I would advise to use Block Breaker all the time in order to guarantee that you're going to be at the battlefield for as long as possible. So Ronin Takeda is going to get 6.7 out of 10 possible points for his basic attacks. Okay guys, let's talk about Plasma Ronin. This is the name of the passive of Ronin Takeda. And let me quote what it does. Plus 30% attack for each Ronin teammate versus Spec Ops. all Ronin characters gain 30% critical damage for each Ronin character on team. And then synergy part, Ronin characters do 10% more damage versus Cold War characters. Where do we begin, guys? I have to be honest, I consider this passive as one of the worst diamond character passive, because it is highly situational. First thing first, it increases the Ronin attack only against Spec Ops. So basically Takeda is specialized in destroying his own class. That's really sad, by the way. In addition, all Ronin characters gain 30% critical damage, including Takeda, but for each Ronin character on team. So in order for him to shine, he needs to be in a Ronin team. And even when he's a Ronin team, he's going to get 60% critical damage, which is very underwhelming. There are items that gives you 70% increase of critical damage. So even when he's in a fully Ronin team, his passive is absolutely underwhelming, guys. On total, he can get 90% critical damage. I'm not saying that this is bad, but once again, there are items in the game that can give you something similar. If you have specific talents, you can get there without having the Plasma Ronin passive and without needing to find 2 more characters in order to make it work. So yeah, really bad passive, I'm sorry, but it is not really great. And once again, imagine that you have just started the game. You have just started the game and you just pulled Ronin Takeda from a pack. And what happens? You just pulled him and oh my god, you just realize to your horror that you need to get 2 more Ronin teammates in order to make this passive to be good. Because once again, even if you are in a Ronin team, this passive is just good, it is not amazing. 90% critical damage is really great. Actually, yeah, it is good, because you have to keep in mind that the other teammates will give you the critical hit chance. So yeah, it is good, but it works only in one team. Outside of this team, it's not really that great. And that's the truth. And you know me, I am always trying to judge the passives, not only in how strong they are in just one team. And I believe that's really bad for diamonds, because a diamond character should be a character that should be viable. You have to get a diamond and he can use in almost every team in the game, or let's say in a lot of teams. Ronin Takeda shines in one team. It is true that you can support him with other characters, Spec Ops such as Demolition Sone, for example, and he is a force to be reckoned with if you decide to do so. But in general, for a diamond, I find this passive very disappointing. It only works against one class, so what happens if you don't face Spec Ops? So half of the passive is gone, and the rest is dependent on the other 2 characters. And once again, even the other 2 characters are there, it is not something incredibly amazing. And we are getting to the point, even if we agree that Ronin Takeda will be facing Spec Ops and he's in a full Ronin team and he's going to do an insane amount of damage, the question stands, so what? It doesn't matter whether you deal 300,000 damage or 600,000 damage. Usually your opponents will have something in between 150k and 200k health. So this is overkill. Nobody needs that. The only place where it will work and it will give you really good value is against bosses, but the Ronin team is simply not the best team against bosses. You have to really know what you're doing, you have to play extremely good in order to pull it off against bosses with the Ronin team. One mistake and you are done. So yeah, this passive first thing is disappointing because it works against only one class. And no, I understand that the Ronin team is designed like this. I understand that, but we are just taking a look at Ronin Takeda as a separate character. So he really increases his attack against Spec Ops, against the other characters from Outworld and Netherrealm. The first part of his passive doesn't trigger, and the second part of his passive only works if he is in a Ronin team. And even then it is not extremely useful because in a lot of cases it is simply an overkill. You don't have to deal 700,000 damage to kill a character that has 100k health, for example. Of course, this only applies for the special attacks, especially his special 2 that can deal probably millions of damage. The boost he gets on his basic attacks is always welcome. There is no overkill there. I just want to make that clear. So the bottom line is, if you don't have the other 2 Ronin characters and if you're not facing Spec Ops, then basically Ronin Takeda doesn't have any passive. And that's really sad for a diamond character because after all, a good passive for me boils down to the fact how versatile this passive is, which is not really the case for Ronin Takeda. This is why he's getting 13 out of 20 possible points for his passive. He's just a Spec Ops character, so he gets 1 point for classes and 0 points for tagging attack. Okay guys, it is time to decide whether Ronin Takeda is a good or a bad character, and I know this is going to be a very highly controversial part of the video, so let's get started. First thing first, he has very good stats, nobody can deny that, especially when it comes to attack. He has really good stats. On top of that, his special attacks are great. He has useful debuffs. One can say that he is a kind of okay as a disabler because he has weaken on special 1 and he has cripple on special 2. Both of those two are working even if the enemy is blocking, and that's beautiful. In addition, this is where the problems come. He has bad passive for diamond. He has bad, or let's say not really bad, but average basic attacks, borderline being bad. And yeah, that's kind of a problem, because in order for him to rely on his special attacks, he needs also to have good basics, considering the fact that both of his special attacks can be blocked. And his biggest problem is that he's really great in Ronin team. Outside of a Ronin team, you have to really try to support him properly in order for him to work. For example, team him up with Demolition Summon and Classic Goro so that you can further boost his attack, but we are going to get to that later. In addition, not the most flexible character in the world, even though he can be really fun to play, especially if you want to play for him for his special 1. Just give him Moloch Bow and Chain and just watch the enemy suffer. But once again, we are going to get to the equipment later. In general, I don't hate Ronin Takeda, but I don't ever play with him, to be honest with you. Even the only time when I will ever play with him is if I want just to have fun, or if he just happens to give some boost in faction wars and there is no other option. This is when I will select Ronin Takeda and take him for a spin. He's kind of okay to play, fun to play, but there are much better diamonds, much safer diamonds. That's the best word to describe, safer. He isn't safe at all. So I'll be giving him just 1 out of my 3 subjective points, and with them he's going to score 72.2, and we can label him, yeah, of course, we can label him as a great character. On our current standings, he ranks 35th, just above Leatherface, thank god, and just below Wretch Devourer. So the final verdict for Ronin Takeda is going to be great character. Okay guys, I'm sure that some of you already know what awaits us here. And by the way, before I reveal what was your decision, if you want to vote and be part of the next character review, please join our Discord server. The link is in the description. There is a thread which I open for every single review that is upcoming, and then you can vote for the character based on your preferences. Now, this time we had a record of votes. 100 people voted for Takeda. And the average score wasn't really that high. As you can tell, it is 5.81, which basically multiplied by 10 equals 58.13. Now, what's interesting here is the most people, 34 of you, voted with a 7. However, unfortunately, Takeda received some, I would say, troll grades such as 1, 2, and 3. And it's like, come on guys. Takeda is not a 1. Even if you despise this character, he is not a 1. However, even though I disagree with those marks, I'm going to accept them. So, regardless of the fact that majority of you, 34 people out of 100 voted with a 7, which I think is fair, some of you voted with 1 or 2, which at the end of the day resulted in the average of 5.8. So in other words, according to the matrix, Takeda scored 72.2, and we can label him as a great character. However, according to you, he just scored 58.1, which ranks as kind of good character. Which one is the right decision? Which one is the right score? It is up to you to decide. Out of the 3 Ronin characters, guys, I think that Kitana should be an opener because she has the highest toughness in the game. So if equipped properly, she's kind of okay. She has very good synergy with the Devastator, which is not really entirely true for Ronin Takeda. So if you have Kitana, better use her as an opener. If you're playing Takeda outside of a Ronin team, then again, you will have better alternatives. With that said, when it comes to the characters that Takeda counters, I couldn't think of one, quite honestly. all Spec Ops characters can be deleted by Takeda, so in a way he counters all Spec Ops characters. And when it comes to characters that counter Takeda, disablers such as, for example, classic Liu Kang, because if Takeda doesn't have a lot of power, he's not really that dangerous. Also, Assassin Jade, MK11 Jade, characters that can destroy Takeda with one special attack. A lot of characters actually counter Takeda. I wouldn't say that there is one character that absolutely demolishes Takeda, but in general he's a risky character. This is his main drawback, being risky. And in terms of the equipment, guys, I am not the greatest Ronin Takeda player, but I can say three things about his equipment. The first thing is that he requires Block Breaker. Really, he badly needs Block Breaker, because without it he can be easily destroyed. Extremely easy, and you don't want this to happen. The next thing that he needs, actually when it comes to the Block Breaker, I forgot to mention that in my opinion the best item for him, especially in survival mode, is Kitana's Bladed Fan, because he can heal pretty good on his special one. The next thing that he requires, or the next thing that works pretty good on him, is the Moloch Ball and Chain. Because even if the enemy is blocking somehow, even if you couldn't break his block using basic attacks, then you can do special one, and judging from the many hits that this special one has, sooner or later the block of the enemy will break, and this is what you want. Furthermore, actually it increases the chance of every single one of those mini hits being lethal, and that's also great. And the third thing that I believe is really useful on Ronin Takeda, you see, Ronin Takeda has very slow tagging animation. I don't know whether it is just me, but every time when I attack him, my opponent starts hitting me first. And I don't want this to happen. In order to fix that, you can use either the Meat Cleaver, or you can use, there is an epic piece called Psych Bomb that stuns on tagging and deals some minor damage. So every single item that does something on tag in, like shooting something at the enemy, even if the enemy blocks it, that's not a big problem. The good thing here is that you have time to start your combo first, and that's really important on Ronin Takeda. Okay guys, we got to the teams. I'll be really short here. There is nothing to say. Takeda is great in Ronin team. When it comes to him being good outside of a Ronin team, I always pair him with Demolition Sonya, and if possible Goro, or if Goro is not there, of course I refer to Classic Goro here. So if you don't have Classic Goro, then you can use any other Spec Ops character to further boost Takeda's. For example, Alice Johnny Cage, Balance Kenshi, and so on and so forth. Okay guys, Ronin Takeda, what do you think of him? Do you like him? Do you dislike him? Please let me know in the comments. Once again, he scored 72.2, and we label him as a great character. As usual guys, if you want to see more reviews, you can find the playlist on the top right corner of the screen. So this is it guys, I rest my case on Ronin Takeda. See you next time.
You're done.
Perfect.